The time has come to open up this offense. It's time the Eagles let it rip. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. So if there was ever a week for the Eagles to let it rip on offense, this is the week to do it. Because the Eagles are facing a Rams team, which in the first 2 weeks defensively have looked really good, but haven't gone up against good offenses. Well, this is the chance for the Eagles to get this passing game going. However, in order for the Eagles to do it, they're going to have to take chances. They are going to have to be willing to open it up. And the question is Patullo, the offensive coordinator, willing to take that chance, or can he just not risk turning over the ball? We are going to find out. In the meantime, we do have some good news happening today that I want to talk about. First thing first, the Eagles made a signing today. So the Eagles have brought back yet again guard Kenyon Green to the active roster. So Kenyon Green has been promoted to the active roster, and we got some really, really good news. Dallas Goedert returned to practice today. So Goedert returns to practice, and it looks like he's going to be a go for the Eagles this weekend. We saw week one, Jalen Hurts liked going to Dallas Goedert a lot. And I just wonder, I really do, I wonder how much Patullo is holding the reins back on this offense. Because I get the feeling when you listen to his press conference, when you hear him talk, he is so fixated and so worried about the turnovers, about not turning over the ball and having Hurts not turn over the ball, that it's really forcing the Eagles and forcing Jalen Hurts to really not take some shots. And when you have the offensive firepower that the Eagles have, you've got to be willing to take shots and to take A.J. Brown, let him go up and get the 50-50 balls. You need to be willing to do those things. And I feel like so far the Eagles haven't. And I feel like in some ways, I wonder if that's not holding them back from really getting this offense going. Can Patullo do it? Can he get it going? So far this year, A.J. Brown has only seen man-to-man coverage 10% of the time. 10% of the snaps the Eagles have had on dropbacks, he's had man-to-man coverage, okay? So you've got to figure ways to get these guys open, to get them going, and you got to be willing to let Hurts take shots, fire the ball downfield. 96% of the time that they're under center, Hurts runs the ball. You got to start running play action. The one thing that I've noticed going back and watching the games is just how predictable this offense is. It's very, very predictable. It's very, very easy to know what they're getting ready to do. And if I can know it watching TV and you can know it watching TV, then you know the defensive coordinators know what they're going to do. So Kevin Patullo, it's going to be he's going to be the big question this week, okay? But before we talk about what I really like and the matchups I really like for this week, I want you guys to check this out from our sponsor. Now would be a great time to talk about our new sponsor, ProfitX. ProfitX is the ultimate sports prediction market. Join thrilling sweepstakes to make peer-to-peer plays with fellow fans. Set your own odds for bigger payouts. All legal in 40 states. Outsmart your friends. Elevate your game with ProfitX. All you got to do is use promo code Philly500 at the sign up to get up to $200 in ProfitX cash. That's $200 in ProfitX cash. All you have to do is use promo code Philly500. Must be of legal age. Void where prohibited. Start now at ProfitX. One of the plays that I really like this week when it comes to this game, the Eagles and the Rams, I like the fact that the Eagles are being villainized. I like the fact that people are talking a lot of crap about them. I think this plays into our hands. I got the Eagles to win by a touchdown. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. That's why I'm taking my play. I'm taking the 3.5 points for this game. Eagles are given 3.5. I'm taking it. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. And if you like this, you could go to ProfitX, download the app, and you can get $200 in ProfitX cash. Just use promo code Philly500. That's Philly500, and get $200 in ProfitX cash. Shout out to ProfitX. So shout out to ProfitX for sponsoring today's video. We appreciate it so very much. And like I said, this game is the most important game of the season, and I know what you're saying. Yo, Philly 500, you moron. It is only week 3. It's only week 3. Stop acting like it's the Super Bowl. But this game truly is important. This game has all sorts of seeding implications, tie-breaking implications. This is one of those games that at the end of the year, when you're looking and you're trying to get home field advantage, you're going, thank God we won that game week 3. That game was really, really important. Just, look at the Packers, Eagles last year in Brazil. Okay? So this is an important game for the Eagles. And look, Patullo has to get this offense going. The offense has not been good enough. Okay, it just hasn't. Now, I'm not in panic mode. I'm not saying it's not going to get figured out. It is only week 2. I'm trying to give the guy some time to figure things out and the way, and get this offense going. However, I will say this. When you hear him talk at the press conference and you hear him kind of talk about turnovers and things like that, I really feel like in some ways maybe he's being too conservative, where he's afraid to open it up. He's afraid to go down the field, maybe, do anything that's going to turn over the ball. He feels like, look, we're good enough to do what we do, just don't turn over the ball, and we'll run the ball, we'll methodically go down the field, we'll put points and we'll win the game. Okay, but you're going to have to open it up at some point, okay? You're going to have to. Now, they're going to be without one of their starting cornerbacks. I think Forbes is going to be going up against A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has tore him up in the past. This should be an A.J. Brown game. Last week should have been an A.J. Brown game, okay? So this offense has to get it going. Barkley has to get it going. And I really think that in order for it to get going, you're going to have to go away from some of the things that you just do over and over and over again, okay? Like we said, Dallas Goedert, he is back at practice. He's probably going to play. Last week when you played the Chiefs, they were running 12-man personnel with 2 tight ends, a lot. I don't know how many times they ran the ball compared to throwing the ball. I'd like to find out, but to me, I don't know why you have 2 tight ends all the time in there when you've got no Dallas Goedert. You got better receivers than Jahan Dotson and Mechie. Get them on the field. Spread these guys out. Go under center. Just because you're under center doesn't mean you have to run. Play action. They're going to have to go away from some things. Sometimes I feel like the Eagles and the coaching staff looks at it and go, our offense is so talented with guys that we don't need to worry about doing all these other things. We're good enough that we can just impose our will on other teams, and they can't do nothing about it. But that's not always the case. You're going to have to mix things up. You're going to have to fool teams. You're going to have to adjust to the defenses and what they do. So Patullo is going to have he's going to have his work cut out for him. I expect him to be better. I think he will, but time will tell. Now, I want to say this. Shout out to Andrew Makuba. The votes are in, and you're at Toyota Player of the Week, Andrew Makuba. Now, Makuba had one hell of a game with against the Chiefs, right? 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, half a sack, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, and he only allowed 2 receptions for 18 yards. Makuba, he's a good player, and Jahad Campbell is a good player. Now you have 2 studs once again. 2 years in a row, you've got 2 defensive studs that are going to go out and be impact players for your defense. This defense, we can talk about the offense and complain about the offense and stuff like that. And like I said, they'll get it fixed. I know they will. But this defense you got to admit it is way ahead of where it was, or where most of us thought it would be this time. With all the losses we had, you figured this defense would get going, later on in the year. But no, these guys are impactful right now. We got to fix the Adoree Jackson situation. But other than that, I love this defense, and I love what they're doing. Now, one of the things with the Rams is Stafford has been getting hit. He has been getting hit, I think 33% of the times he's been under pressure. He's taken hits, and he's had a bad back all camp. I mean, he didn't practice for how long? Some people were saying that they thought he was going to miss time because his back was that bad at a certain point. But Stafford has been pressured 33.3%, which is a weird number. I don't like that number. But 33.3% of the time, okay, according to Next Gen Stats. I think the Eagles can get pressure on Stafford. I think we've seen it in the past with Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are going to have a big game. I think you got to get pressure on Stafford, force him to throw. You want him to not have time. You want push up the middle, and you want him to have to get rid of that ball instead of setting up something big downfield for Adams or Puka Nacua. So the Eagles' defense and the defensive line is actually a matchup I really like. I think the Eagles matchup, I actually think they really match up skill-wise great with the Rams. They just got to go out and be, and get the job done on offense. They've got to go out there and execute. If they do that on offense, they're fine. I think they match up well because I don't think the Rams can stop the run. But they're not running the ball well. Offense really hasn't been great yet. Defensively, I think the Eagles should be able to get a lot of pressure on Stafford, and I think this is where this is going to be a big advantage for the Eagles. These are the type of games that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles always seem to rise up and play really good in when the competition goes up. And I expect nothing less from the Eagles whatsoever. So we're going to find out. It's going to be an interesting game. I will be streaming live tomorrow night. It's the Dolphins-Buffalo. I think Buffalo kills them, but I'll be streaming. Come on, hang out with me. Should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we'll be doing a morning live stream Friday. And then, of course, doubleheader Sunday with the Eagles, Rams. And then I think, I think the Cowboys-Bears play after. I think they play after, but we'll see. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how I vision, baby. We're all just living in it. I'm predicting it right now. 2.5 sacks versus Stafford and the Rams for Zadarius Smith. I think he's going to have a big mother humping game. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.